We all think we know what a trail is, right? It's a path, a line on a map. But what if the trail itself could know us? Today, we're going to dive into how data is totally transforming the simple act of hiking, turning these static paths into living, breathing information systems. Really, it's all about the trail finally coming alive.
So let's just start with this one big idea. What if a hiking trail could actually talk to you? No, seriously, what would it say? What would it tell you about its current condition, its hidden gems, or maybe even its dangers?
I mean, think about the huge leap we've already made. Not that long ago, hiking meant you had a paper map, a compass, and honestly, a whole lot of guesswork. Now we've got live GPS in our pockets and reviews from hikers who were there yesterday. But this shift, this move from static paper to dynamic data, well, that's not the end of the story. It's just the foundation for what's coming next.
So let's peel back the layers of a modern map. Let's look under the hood. What's the data that's really doing all the heavy lifting beneath the surface?
Okay, and this is the absolute key. A digital hiking map isn't just a picture of a trail. It's an interactive database. Every single line, every peak, every little feature is a piece of structured data that an app can actually understand, filter, and show you in a way that makes sense.
Take the SAC scale, for example. You'll see this a lot in data from places like OpenStreetMap. It's just a standard rating that classifies how technically difficult a trail is, from a super easy T1 walk in the park to a T6 alpine climb where you're going to need some serious gear. This one little data point lets you know exactly what you're getting yourself into.
But, difficulty is only half the picture. The data gets way more nuanced with something called trail visibility. See, a trail could be physically easy, a flat T1, but if the path itself is all overgrown and hard to follow, that's a totally different kind of challenge, right? This data captures that crucial distinction.
And this is the magic part. This is how all that raw data becomes a visual language. Different line styles, solid, dashed, dotted. They instantly tell you about the mix of difficulty and visibility. You can see just at a glance the difference between an easy, clear path and a difficult, barely there scramble. It's like the math is talking to you without using a single word.
So what happens when you take this whole data-driven idea to its logical conclusion? Let's check out a real-world example from the Stockholm Archipelago, where they are literally building a complete knowledge graph for a trail.
687. Now that's not just some random number I pulled out of thin air, it's the number of interconnected pieces of data that have been created for one single hiking project, the Stockholm Archipelago Trail. So what does that actually mean?
It means this thing, it isn't just a map anymore. It's a knowledge graph. A better way to think about it is like a living digital encyclopedia for the trail, where every single point of interest is a piece of data that's connected to everything else. And I mean everything. We're not just talking about the path. We're talking about ferry stops with their live timetables, sources of safe drinking water, barbecue pits, and even the exact locations of life-saving defibrillators. It's got campsites, guest harbors, restaurants. Literally every single piece of information a traveler could possibly need is linked together.
The bigger ambition here is really incredible. It's to create what's called a language-agnostic framework. Because the data is structured, it actually goes beyond language. It doesn't matter if you speak Swedish or Swahili. The data for drinking water here is universal, and an app can show you that information in any language you want.
Okay, a language-agnostic knowledge graph is a massive leap forward, for sure. But it's still based on information that's relatively static. The next step, the real future, is to make the trail truly live, powered by the community itself.
So just imagine a platform where the trail is a living, breathing thing, where it's being updated in real time by the very hikers who are out there on it. And this isn't some sci-fi fantasy. In Sweden, the ice skating network, Skridsko-nätverket, already does this. Skaters report ice conditions with photos and everything, right from the ice.
So what would this look like for hiking? Well, picture this. First, hikers report trail conditions in real time. Maybe there's a fallen tree or a washed-out bridge. They just report it from their phones. Second, the platform helps organize the social stuff, like planning group hikes or even coordinating paid bus trips to the trailhead. And third, people share their completed tours, building this rich library of experiences that makes it better for everyone. It becomes this amazing, self-reinforcing loop of community knowledge.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of tech and a lot of data. But let's bring it all back home to the most important question of all. Why does any of this actually matter? Because the ultimate goal isn't just about building cooler maps. It's about using all of this connected data to make the outdoors safer, more enjoyable, and truly, genuinely accessible to everyone. You know, the U.S. Forest Service has a great term for this. They call it program accessibility. And it's just this simple principle that everyone, including people with disabilities, should have the opportunity to participate. And data, well, data is the key that unlocks this for the outdoors.
And this, right here, is the real takeaway. Better data doesn't just create better maps, it creates more equitable access to nature. Because when you can give someone detailed information about trail surfaces, about gradients, about where the facilities are, you empower so many more people of all abilities to find adventures that work for them, and to do it safely and confidently.
So as we wrap up, just remember, this isn't science fiction. The Trail of the Future is being built as we speak, piece by piece, by volunteers on projects like OpenStreetMap and Wikidata. This is happening now. So the only real question left is, what will you contribute?